Hi everyone and welcome to Club 2 episode 11 of Rolling in the Isles, an FM22 British Isles Journeyman series with me, the United City FM. Welcome along. So we're in our new season with Ballon and Mallard in the second tier of Northern Irish football. Played half a dozen games, 1 in the cup, 5 in the league. It's been inconsistent, that's the thing so far. 3 wins, 1 draw, 2 losses. I think one of those losses in the cup, unfortunately, to Dundela from our own league. So we got knocked out a bit early in that, unfortunately. Other than that, the league form's going all right. We're sitting in third. Today, we play second position Loughgall. Something's got to give. Which way is it going to go? Welcome back to Ballon and Mallard. So we are sitting in mid-September of our new season. It's, as I say, gone okay, a little bit inconsistent, but we're still in touch with everybody that we need to be at the moment. Sitting third in the table, Ballyclare are sitting top at the moment, 3 points clear of us. So we're still there or thereabouts, but we need to find a little bit of consistent form if we can in terms of getting the goals, keeping some clean sheets and moving us forward through this season. But it's going all right so far. For today, we play Loughgall. They're sitting directly ahead of us in the league by 1 point. Bit of a rival for us last season as well. So you can see that that's going to continue this season. We are, at this occasion, away from home. So that's always a little bit more tricky. Since you and I were together last, other than that inconsistent form that I will just show you exactly how we got on, two losses. 1 in the cup, unfortunately, to Dundela was disappointing, to be honest. We lost 3-2 at home. So it was just one of those games where it didn't quite work out for us in the end. 3 wins, though, which is decent, and 1 big loss in the league to Carrick, the favourites for the title, ultimately, who haven't started brilliantly, but played very well against us. Today, we start a run of a few games where I think actually we should be taking the points from this point onwards for the next few matches and see if we can build some consistency. So can we start that today? Let's find out. So the eagle-eyed amongst you will notice that actually, for a fairly big squad of players at the moment, we haven't used too many of them this time round so far. There's still, what's that, about 8 or 9 players that haven't got any game time so far this season. It's kind of out of design. I wanted to put in for the first half dozen or so matches the same team as much as I could to see if we could build some consistency in there, etc. Hasn't totally worked, but I think we're doing pretty well overall. So I'm not worried about that decision. What I would say is after today's match, because we will be playing our first team against Loughgall because they're high up in the division. After today's match, we will be rotating a little bit more, bringing a few players in here and there, giving everybody a chance to impress and play as much as they can, and then see after a few more games into the season how our first team then looks in terms of ratings and other bits and pieces. But for today's game, we do actually go in with the first team 11 as much as is possible to do, and it is totally possible. Basically, we've got a completely clean bill of health, which is fantastic. So I'm able to choose the exact starting lineup that I really want to choose. The other thing that I will tell you is that just since you and I were together last, the transfer window is closed, but we didn't make any more deals at all. We were all done in the transfer window before that point. So no incomings, no outgoings, as far as I can remember anyway. And so ultimately, we've now got our settled squad for the next few months, and we'll see how we do. So for the match against Loughgall, away from home, 2nd v 3rd in the league, we're going to go in with Hogg in goal, Smith at right back, Curry at left back, Armstrong and McCann in central defence, McKee and Grace in central midfield, Crook on the right, Burns on the left, McGlynn and Bander up top, and a bench of Stewart, Brennan, Keane, McLaughlin and Kelly. So let's get into today's game and see what happens. So considering that the last match that I actually played here was a win for us, I've gone in with hands in the pockets and said to all the players, I want you to pick up from where you left off last time out, which I think is a good thing because that's what I'm trying to do, is building consistency, remembering what we've done previously well and trying to implement that again as we move forward into another game. So we'll see how we go. Obviously, Loughgall last season did finish above us in the league in those playoff spots, just took it away from us at the back end of last season, and they've started that way again this season, are right up there with us. So they're a tricky outfit to get one over. Today we're playing in our white strip, just for those that are watching on and used to us playing in a couple of different colours. And as I say, away from home, always a bit more tricky. If we can keep good shape and be defensively secure enough to keep them at a distance, then we've certainly got a chance. We will cause them, I hope, as many issues as they'll cause us, I hope. We'll have to wait and see. That is really, really poor defending, though. If we look at this again, immediately it really shone out at me as how bad this is from the right fullback, who just stands there. Literally just stands there, and the left winger runs all the way around the outside of him to get onto a ball that the right fullback should have been running back to try and get. And again, we have the issue that you can put a team out, you can give them instruction, you can find a way to train them during the week, and then if they make silly errors, then there's not a huge amount you can sometimes do about that. Burns has been one of the stars of our show, normally on the left-hand side. He's over there on the right-hand side because he's just taken a corner, but a creative influence for us. So if he's around, there's always a chance for somebody else to be able to get on the score sheet. But on that occasion, nothing quite worked out. The corner and then the subsequent play after that as well to try and get the ball back into the box didn't quite work. We're a little bit low in possession today, so they're obviously playing a little bit of a possession game themselves. We're matching up quite well in terms of the 4-4-2, but they've got that goal because of the mistake that our right fullback made. I mean, our right fullback is Smith, and he is a youngster. He's only like 18 years old, but he's reasonable at this level, and I do expect a little bit more. And that's really unlucky, isn't it? McGlynn gets in on this left-hand side of the penalty box, smashes the ball, I think, against the post, and then eventually we win a free kick on the edge of the box. But just a little bit, it feels a little bit unlucky so far today. Couple of good chances, mistake by the right fullback, and we find ourselves down at 38 minutes. And again, they've just absolutely done us in the fullback positions. Again, watch this movement by the same player, actually, Andrade, who was over on the right-hand side earlier. You watch how it works this time around. It's Barr that gets in down the right-hand side. Again, the left fullback does not go with the runner, which is really disappointing. And he gets the ball right the way across the 6-yard box to the far post. And Andrade is attacking that far post. It was Andrade who got the run down the left-hand side to set up the first goal. It's just a little bit disappointing. These are the games where you really hope that at some point we're going to find a way to compete. And again, McGlynn hits the post for us. Twice now he's done that in this first half, and we go in 2-0 down. It's all fine margins. We've had a little bit more possession. The XG ratings are pretty bad from both sides. They've had 10 shots. We've only had 6. They've had 4 on target, 2 for us. So you can see again that that's where we're letting ourselves down a little bit. We're not having enough at goal, and we're not putting enough on target, especially when a couple of your defenders just do not do their basic jobs well. And that right and left fullback, so that's Smith and Curry, both had a chance in that first half to run with an attacking player and just close the space down a bit for them. And they both got completely caught out, and it caused us huge problems. So we're going to have to go and be a bit harsh on them, I think, for this first half display, because it really isn't good enough. So we'll thrash the arms about. You've been terrible so far. Sort it out. We're going to give them a chance to do that. We're not going to change much at this point. We're going to go into the shouts at the start of the second half and fire them up. But we are going to give them a chance just to see if they can find a way in these early sort of 20 minutes or so of this first half of the second half, as it were, just to see if we can sort that out just a little bit. So far, though, this is the problem. It's a real demonstration of it. We've been in for 15, nearly 20 minutes, and we haven't even had a shot at goal in this second half. Here's a chance for us. Burns puts it through for Banda, but he's on his heels a little bit. Defender had it covered. Goalkeeper came out, closed the space down, and then puts the ball straight over the top for them. It's just one of those days, people. It's just one of those days. Nothing, literally nothing is working for us at all. And pretty much everything is for them. We had a strike at goal. The goalkeeper closed down this. Oh, we didn't even have a strike. The ball went through on goal. The goalkeeper came and closed the ball down, picked the ball up, booted it down the pitch right over the top of our defence. The striker ran onto the ball and then just slotted it home for 3. It's a really very, very poor performance. I mean, you can see, as you would imagine, nobody's playing well in this team today at all. The highest rating we've got is about a 6.9. Yeah. Don't really know what to tell you at this point for this particular occasion. I feel like we've been a little bit unlucky with our own chances and some really, really poor performances for our own players. Anyway, let's see what we can do about it. We're going to have to change quite a lot, I think, here, because for whatever reason, it's not working. So they're in the 4-4-2, so are we. We're matching up with them. They're dominating that. So we're going to have to change the shape a little bit, I think. So what we're going to do is we're going to go narrow. Anybody that's been watching my Twitch stream save with Viking in Norway, you can remember that maybe we've changed our setup in this 3rd season that we're just started with them, and we've gone into this sort of shape, the 4-3-1-2. It's working quite nicely. So what we're going to do is we're going to do that here for the remainder of this second half, and we're going to go through the middle a little bit, go slightly more long ball maybe, and just try and avoid the width of the pitch as much as we can and go through that centre. Burns can come in and play that attacking central midfield role, which will be fine. We've got to take Crook out, who's our right-sided player. We'll bring Brennan in to play in this midfield, and we'll switch and put McKee in the centre point and use him as the ball winner. So he can go and play there. We're going to put Grace as a Metzala on support, so he's going to go and attack this space, which will be good. And then I think we'll leave Brennan. Should we put him in the box-to-box? I think we'll put him in the box-to-box, so at least he's getting up and down the pitch and supporting the play in both areas. And the rest of it can stay the same, but I think because how bad we've been, we will just go route 1. We will just literally as high as quick as we can, get it up the pitch and see if we can get a couple of chances from it. And to do that, we're actually going to raise the line higher a little bit, because we can also then raise the top line and put them closer to the goal. And if we can clear it and get it up there quickly, maybe that will be a better opportunity for our strikers to have a moment in front of goal. We'll see. It's a little bit of a gamble, but at this point, 3-0 down, we've got absolutely nothing to lose. What's another couple of goals, really, when you're 3-0 down to a direct rival, which is so disappointing, and continues the inconsistency of the side, to be honest. That's just one of the real blows of this season so far. Anyway, off we go. We'll go back in. We will clear through their replay of their goal, because I don't want to see it again. And we will carry on. 66 minutes on the clock. So those changes have got half an hour to find a way to get something into this game. We'll see. But again, it will probably just go really quiet now. And the structure will stay the same as in the game, really. And it was for a moment. They had a chance to come back at us, counter-attack Loughgall, but they lost possession, and we moved it down the pitch into their half. And what happened there with their player? He got a red card for their player. I didn't think the challenge was that bad, to be honest. He cleared the ball away, but they're now down to 10 men. And immediately, have we given a penalty away or something? What on earth has happened there? For goodness sake. They're down to 10 men. They have one attack, and we give a penalty away for them to easily find number 4. It's gone from bad to worse. It's a really, really dreadful performance by the players all over the pitch. And another one there, Armstrong in the centre of our defence, makes a challenge that's poorly timed, poorly thought out, and we give them another very easy goal. We got like 12 minutes to play. We'll go in, make a couple more substitutions just to freshen things up a little bit. But this team will now get rotated in the next few matches, because How we've done so far has been all right this season. We got whooped by Carrick really badly as well. One of the top teams in the league, easy for me to say. And again here with Loughgall, the same kind of result. So that's our ceiling at the moment. We can cope with the mid-table types. We can cope with the lower tables. You give us anyone in the top sort of 3 or 4, seemingly we really, really struggle. And today has been a huge struggle. So Kelly will come on up top. And you could take either Bander or McGlynn off, really. They've both played really poorly. We'll take Bander out. And we've got one more that we can make. And I'm going to take Armstrong out at the back because he's just had a really bad game with that penalty giving away as well. And he's now frustrated. So his issues could boil over if we're not careful. So we'll take him out of the back and just play Stewart in that position for the remainder of the game. But yeah, I mean, the game was done at half-time, really. We couldn't find a way back in the first sort of 10, 15 minutes of this second half. So the game was already won by them. The statistics for the match are interesting. I mean, we've got over a 1xG, the expected goals, so we should have potentially found the net ourselves. But they've only got a 1.7 xG and got 4 goals from that because we made so many errors. We gave away a penalty. 2 of the other 3 goals were gifted to them, really, by our fullbacks, just not even trying to track a run or follow the ball in any way. The only player that comes out of our team with any credit whatsoever is Burns, and it's been like that for most of this season for him. He's played very well. But look, I mean, we had 11 shots at goal. They had 13. 6 on target for them, 5 for us. So those statistics aren't terribly different to each other, are they, really? We had a little bit more possession than they did. We had more corners than they did. Why my near-post corners get absolutely nothing, where seemingly everybody else's does, is beyond me a little bit, but there we go. But yeah, I feel really frustrated by that game. I feel like you can spend the whole summer rejigging your side, putting them together, giving them a style of play that they all seemed accustomed to, allowing most of the team from last season to be here still and find some consistency of playing together and all that stuff. And then you put them on the pitch and they go and play like that. And you stand there as a manager on the touchline and you go, well, on this occasion, I don't think it was my fault. Sometimes it is, but I don't think it was today. I think that was a really bad performance, and there will be changes afoot after this match, I can assure you. Anyway, today we got thumped again, but this time round, other than like where Carrick just dominated the game, we kind of gave this to them. But that's just football sometimes. So after such a poor performance, I did throw the water bottle at them in the dressing room. It wasn't my dressing room, it was the away dressing room, so they'll have to clear that one up afterwards. That put the frighteners up the team a little bit, I hope. I also criticised 1 or 2 of the players for their performance, but I also praised Burns because he was on a 7-point-something average rating and a really awful team performance, and he's doing pretty well for us this season, so occasionally you need to do that just to keep the morale of certain players high and demonstrate to the other ones that if they play well, they get some kudos from me. So that's all been done. We've dropped to 4th position, which is disappointing at this point. We're 4 points behind Loughgall and Ballyclare at the top of the table alongside Dundela, who were the team that beat us in the Cup. So you can see, again, it's a real clear demonstration that if we play the teams directly around us at the top of the tabling, and I include Carrick in that because they're, in theory, favourites for the title this season, we do struggle a little bit with that quality of opposition. So hopefully we can now go on a bit of a run. We've got Welders coming up next. They're sitting in 8th. Then Dundela, that's going to be tricky. Armagh sitting, where are they sitting? In 7th. And then Ards are coming up as well, and they are sitting in 5th. So a few from the sort of mid-table area a little bit that will hopefully get us on a little bit of a good run comparative to what we've been on so far and just build that momentum. But you can see already, we've got the same issues that I've been finding in Football Manager 22 all over the place. We have little pockets of good form and then little pockets that turn into bigger pockets of poor form. and it wrecks the season if you're not very careful with that continuing around. So next time out, we've got another big team to play. We've got Ballyclare, who sit top of the table currently, and that's in like half a dozen fixtures from now. So we're going to come back and play that match and see how we get on. Again, another away game though, and a big match. And that's disappointing in itself. But ultimately, we've got to play all of these teams at least twice at the beginning of this season anyway. So it might as well be then, mightn't it? And it might as well be away from home later in the season. That'll come to help us out when we go and play them again at our place, hopefully. But anyway, that's going to do it for today. I feel really quite... It's bizarre. It's Football Manager, for goodness sake. It doesn't matter. It's you know, it's not life or death, is it? But I'm actually a little bit dejected over that one today because I feel like we've got a reasonable team together. And on a day like that, they just get absolutely blown away by 3 of their own errors. And it feels like at times there's not a lot you can do about that. Really, you know, I can continue to train them and sort them in terms of the style of play and other bits and pieces, but they've got to get out on the pitch and eradicate the errors for us to get anywhere. And the only way ultimately we could potentially do that is take some of them out of the team and put other players in. So we're going to do that over the next few matches, see what we've got in this squad and see whether we've got a hidden gem or two. And so you'll have to come back next episode for that game against Ballyclare, and I will fill you in on everything that happens in terms of how we get on in the fixtures, but also how these players play from the squad as well, and whether we can find anybody that's going to force their way into this starting lineup. At the moment, there's only one player that's on my definite list for my starting lineup, and that's Burns. Everybody else, you've got to up your game. Anyway, come back next episode. We'll figure all of that out then, and we'll play Ballyclare. Until then, thank you for joining me today. Really appreciate it. I'm really sorry that my team could not put on a performance for you in any way, shape or form. But you make yourself heard from the stands and let them know that it wasn't good enough, and hopefully they can do a better job next time. We'll see. But thank you for joining me. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already and join my United City community. The more the merrier. Click that like button on this particular episode. That'll help me get seen by more people. Until next time, take care of yourselves. I'll see you very soon. Bye for now.